Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a centuries-old secret for one of modern life's most common miseries, the migraine. We're going to talk about a specific flower that's been offering relief long before pharmacies were ever a thing.
So, just imagine this for a second. You feel that awful familiar ache, that aura of a migraine starting to creep in. But what if, instead of reaching for a pill that might just trade your head pain for some serious brain fog, you could turn to a simple plant? What if you could actually get out of that dark, quiet room and back into your life with a little help from nature? In this explainer, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to introduce you to that plant and show you precisely how it works, its magic.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We're going to break down which herb acts as a kind of natural stabilizer for your blood vessels. Then, and this is super important, we'll talk about how to find the good stuff, the high-quality plants that actually have the medicinal properties you need. And finally, we'll get practical, the exact way to prepare it to get the most potent effect. So what is this botanical powerhouse? Well, let's meet the hero of our story. It's a humble-looking flower with a really powerful secret, and it's called feverfew. Yeah, its scientific name is Tanacetum parthenium, but most people just know it as feverfew. And for a very good reason. This plant has been the go-to remedy for centuries. And listen, this is not some new health fad. We are talking about a 2,000-year history of relief. The ancient Greek physician Dioscorides literally prescribed it for what he called head-splitting pains. Then in the Middle Ages, it got the nickname medieval aspirin. And now today, modern science is actually backing up what herbalists have known all along. So, okay, a 2,000-year track record is pretty impressive. But how does it actually work? What's happening on a biological level? Let's get into the science. The whole secret really lies in one specific compound called parthenolide. This is the main active ingredient, the molecule that does all the heavy lifting when it comes to fighting off a migraine. So parthenolide basically wages a three-pronged attack on migraines. First, it helps stabilize the blood vessels in your brain, which stops those chaotic spasms that are a hallmark of an attack. Second, it acts like a bouncer at a club, blocking the release of pain-causing chemicals like serotonin. And third, it's a really powerful anti-inflammatory. It actually blocks a protein complex called NF-kappa B, which is kind of like the master switch for inflammation in your body. So you see, it's not just masking the pain, it's getting to the root causes. And what does all that mean for you in the real world? Well, it means fewer migraine days every month. It means dialing down that awful sensitivity to light and sound. And it even helps with that terrible, drained migraine hangover feeling by helping to clear out all that inflammatory gunk after an attack. Okay, the science is really compelling, right? But to actually get these benefits, you have to use it the right way. So let's get into the practical side of things, how to source it and how to prepare it. So here's the deal, and this is crucial. Quality matters a lot. You need to look for specific things. Freeze-dried leaves are what you want for making teas. If you're going for capsules, make sure they are standardized to have at least 0.2% parthenolide. Otherwise, you really have no idea what you're getting. And I'd always say go organic to avoid any pesticides. Now, what to avoid? Steer clear of those generic herbal powders that don't list the parthenolide content. And if a product smells dusty or has no smell at all, that means all the good medicinal oils are long gone. For anyone who prefers a tea, the daily infusion method is super simple. You just start with 1 teaspoon of the dried leaves, pour hot, but listen, not boiling water over them. And now, here is the most important step, cover the mug. You have to do this. It traps all those amazing medicinal oils that would otherwise just float away as steam. Let it steep for about 10 minutes, and that's it. And please remember this common mistake. Never, ever boil the leaves directly in a pot on the stove. That kind of intense direct heat will absolutely destroy the delicate parthenolide and just make the herb totally useless. Want a pro tip? Try adding a little slice of fresh ginger to your tea. Ginger is what we call a fantastic bioenhancer. It actually increases your circulation, which helps your body absorb the parthenolide way more effectively. Plus, it adds a really powerful anti-nausea component, which is perfect for those of us who get queasy during a migraine. All right, now with any potent remedy like this, we have to talk about safety. Getting the dosage and the warnings right is absolutely critical. For preventative use with a standardized extract, so we're talking about capsules here, the sweet spot is generally between 100 and 150 milligrams per day. This is the dosage that most of the research points to for effective migraine prevention. And please, pay very close attention to these safety warnings. Because it can cause uterine contractions, feverfew absolutely must be avoided during pregnancy. It can also interact with blood thinners like warfarin, so you have to talk to your doctor if you're on any of those meds. And finally, if you know you're allergic to plants in the daisy family, like ragweed, it's best to stay away from feverfew. So we'll end with a question for you. Now that you have this new tool for your toolkit, take a second to think about your own patterns. What are your biggest triggers? Is it stress? Or maybe specific foods? You know, understanding those triggers is really the first and most important step in building a real strategy for lasting relief.